Hey Gemini, before we start talking about the astrology and getting into the tarot for the month of February for you, I was really tuning in with your energy and I had this kind of crazy visual of going down this tunnel and it felt like this sort of portal or vortex, if you will. And it was like my vision was just being sucked down this funnel and it kept turning. It was very winding. And so it feels like a lot of things are changing really quickly. It feels like your mind is kind of all over the place, to be honest. There could be a lot of changes in perspective or a lot of unexpected things, but it's all happening so quickly and moving so quickly. You do have Mars in your sign this month, so maybe there is just a lot of energy that you're tapping into, and it's kind of making you move a lot faster. It's like you're in warp drive. That's honestly the best way I can think to describe this image. But it's also like you are traveling in a spiral. And what's interesting is I know that particles actually move fastest when they are moving in a spiral. And so there is something here, there's a lot of forward moving momentum, which actually does make quite a deal of sense with the astrology, if I'm being honest. This is a very forward moving month. There's not a lot of disruptions. But just that visual was so interesting to me. It feels like there's a lot of activation, and it's like your life could end up in a very unexpected direction at the end of this. So I'm very eager to get into your reading. If you're excited for today's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to my channel, my name is Michael, and I incorporate tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. If you're looking to dive even deeper, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions with me in the description box down below, as well as links for the blog posts and my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards for you, Gemini, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the astrology. We are in Aquarius season at the start of February, and for you, this rules over your ninth house of philosophy and foreign travel. This can also pertain to higher education as well. So there could be a lot that you are learning this month, or a lot of shifts that are happening in kind of your perspective or worldview. As we get more and more into Pisces season, there's a lot more emphasis on your career and role in the world at large. And, specifically around the 15th, there is something really interesting happening with Venus and Neptune coming together in the sign of Pisces. And part of what's making this so interesting to me is that Venus is actually exalted in the sign of Pisces. This is one of the really beautiful things about this month. There's this connection to divine and universal love that is made very available to us. It's kind of like unconditional love when Venus enters into Pisces. It can also be a little delusional as well, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, Venus is very potent in the sign of Pisces, and Neptune is actually one of the planetary rulers of Pisces, so it's very powerful there as well. And Neptune is also considered the higher octave of Venus. And so to have these two planets coming together in this sign, it feels very beautiful to me. And honestly, if you work in any sort of creative or spiritual profession, this feels like a very blessed time for you. And maybe this is this sort of tunnel that you are going into. It's this sort of warp drive you are going into. You could suddenly enter into a lot of success very unexpectedly, or just be very blessed, especially if you are someone who is born at night. If you have a night chart, because Venus is then considered your benefic planet. But even if you have a day chart, you should still be feeling this energy in some beautiful way as well. So what are the messages that we have for Gemini? Show us clearly, please. What is going on for Gemini? So we do have the King of Cups with Death. Very strong scorpionic energy between these two cards. And that's what I mean. I feel like there's some sort of mastery or transcendence that is happening. Like you are shedding an old version of yourself. You're shedding, I'm getting father issues actually with this card. And it is helping you grow into this Queen of Wands. For others of you, It's like you are shedding something here, something emotional, something that you have needed to let go of for some time, or something that spirit has wanted you to let go of, and you're actually coming out very vibrant, very vivacious. We do also have a full moon in Leo at the start of this month as well. The full moon is on the 5th. And for you, Gemini, this is all about communication. So you could be expressing things in a new way. There could be something that is being revealed to you during this time, because Leo represents your third house. It is your conscious mind. It is ideas. It is communication. It's also the house of siblings and kind of your locale or surrounding area. So there could be some changes that are happening in those parts of your life as well. But I feel like I honestly look at the King of Cups and the Death card together, and it kind of reminds me of a death doula, which is sort of interesting. It's like you're holding space for some sort of change or transition or transformation. And it's not about fighting it. It's not about resisting it. It's very much holding space for change. And maybe that's energy that you have been in, because this is sort of a past influence coming into the month of February. Maybe you've been holding a lot of space. But I feel like the energy you're really stepping into, the role you're really stepping into, is quite dynamic and passionate and fiery with the Queen of Wands here. And it's like, it's funny kind of looking in the background. We have like 9 Lives Ballroom. So it's like those 9 lives. It's like you have a lot of resiliency. There's a lot of resiliency, and it's not like your resiliency isn't like, I survived whatever this death was. It's that I continued after this ending. I found a way to move forward. I found a way to move with it. So some really big energy here, and maybe even learning to live with grief. That is very, very interesting. We have the Lovers popping out, which is your card, Gemini. And the Lovers in this deck really is a lot about self-love. This card has been coming up a lot in these readings, I just gotta say. I feel like the past 4 readings I've done have all featured the Lovers. I feel like you are coming into union with some aspect of yourself, and especially being a Gemini. Now, for some of you, this could be about a relationship. We'll definitely pull for that, but just looking at the astrology, that's not really the focus this month. It feels more like you are seeing things from a new perspective. You are seeing things that were kept in the shadow. You're embracing your shadow side more, maybe even been doing some shadow work throughout Capricorn season. And that might even be the case. Mercury is still in Capricorn until the end, until the 11th. That's when Mercury enters Aquarius. That's when there is this perspective shift, and maybe even some news abroad or something about higher learning or travel that is taking place. Interesting that I have the 2 of Wands here, which is often a card of travel or looking into distant horizons. So that is interesting. But looking at the Lovers, it's like you're meeting a new part of yourself. And I think having Mars in your sign this month is also interesting, because Mars has actually been retrograde since the end of October and went direct January 12th. And it may have felt like you were really fighting, or there was this battle. And now you are moving forward in a more productive or constructive way. And you are solving problems. And you are resolving issues within yourself specifically, and issues with identity. So that's actually really beautiful that this Lovers card is coming out for you in this way. This actually makes a lot of sense to me now. I feel like you're just coming into union with yourself, with these different polarities. What else do we have for Gemini? What else do we have for Gemini for the month of February? We have the sun. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Yeah, there is a new life I feel like you are stepping into. Things are looking good. Your optimism is improving, or your outlook is improving overall. You're feeling more optimistic. There is just this creative energy, this new life. And I feel like with the full moon in Leo, there's just this very inspired idea or this very beautiful realization that you are having. And we do have the Three of Wands, so maybe there is something to do with travel this month as well. Maybe some of you are traveling. I know I live in New York, and so maybe you're getting into a sunnier place yourself. But I do feel like there's something coming in from a horizon. There's like this connection from something that is far away. That is what I'm getting, and it's bringing new life. It's bringing new energy with the sun. We are working towards something with the Eight of Wands, especially towards the end of the month. That makes a lot of sense because, again, Pisces represents your career. It represents your role in the world. And we do have a Nine of Wands here as well. This is kind of like you've nearly burnt yourself out, but you're also near the completion of something. These candles have been burning through the night. They're almost completely melted away, but dawn is approaching. And I feel like with this dawning energy, this feels very connected to the sun for me as well. A new day is dawning, the dawn of a new day. And you're getting there very unexpectedly. You are working very, very quickly. And then I also feel like there's this moment where it's like you're kind of basking in the fruits of your labors. I'm kind of getting that with the sun here. So whatever it is that you're working on, I do feel like it is going to take some energy from you. I'm not going to lie. It is going to take some effort, but it's like at the same time, you're finding this energy this month that's like almost like this part of you that is bigger than you is just taking over, or you are being whisked into a new life, into a new role, into a new world. And like, you might actually be pretty ungrounded this month. I'm just going to say that now. You might really need to take efforts to ground yourself, especially around the conjunction with Venus and Neptune in the sign of Pisces around the 15th. We do have a new moon in Pisces as well on the 20th, and this is a really beautiful time of like new blessings, new beginnings for your career or role in the world, or maybe even like a new chapter of kind of your public image or your online image, because that is kind of 10th house energy in sort of the modern day. Some people actually consider the 10th house or your midheaven a second rising sign. So maybe you are connecting more with this Pisces energy. Anything else? What do we have? Let's talk about relationships. I kind of get the sense that's not really the focus of this month, but I'll pull. I'll see what sort of messages come through there. What are the messages for relationships for Gemini for the month of February? Show us clearly, please. Wow, that's too many. I just had a bunch of cards kind of fall out onto the floor, and I'm not even going to take these because honestly, the message I'm kind of getting and the impression I'm kind of getting, it's like there's so much else going on. It's almost like you're too distracted to even really pay attention to these things. For those of you who are in partnerships, I feel like if there's something that your partner has been going through, it's like kind of starting to resolve. Wow. Yep, the Hermit. That's a very clear message. This is very much focused on you this month. I know that's not always the most exciting message to get, but it is the vibe I was getting that feels very aligned to this. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of self-focus. There's a lot of introspection, and like maybe you've been more focused on partnership in the past couple of months, especially in Capricorn season and even Sagittarius season. like December, January, there might have been a lot of focus on relationships, on other people, or your attachment styles and your own patterns and beliefs relative to relationships. But right now, the energy is really reflective. It's really focused on you. Um, and kind of finding your own light and cultivating that more. And even if you are connecting with other people, I feel like it's important that you're taking time for yourself this month. I'm just going to say that. So I think I'm really just going to leave that there. I do want to pull for finances, and I'm curious, kind of connecting this with work as well. We have the Queen of Swords. So I think it is important that you are strategic with your money, you are strategic with the work that you are doing right now, but I do get this sense of like commanding respect from you with the Queen of Swords. You are respected in some way. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. There's something very beautiful here. This feels more about career, to be honest. I really do get the sense with this Wheel of Fortune, there is just this big lucky break. Things are happening for you very quickly this month, Gemini. And it's gonna kind of be a wild ride. As exciting as the Wheel of Fortune is, it's like, it's moving very quickly. I do feel like you're going to need to ground after this month or after March. It's like you're going to kind of need to take a moment to catch your breath. But honestly, like, you're just kind of moving very quickly. Anything else for Gemini? King of Pentacles. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you are stepping into a bigger role. I do. I do get this sense for a lot of you. You could be getting a promotion of some kind. You could be starting your own business or growing some sort of enterprise here with the Queen of Swords and King of Pentacles. And with the Wheel of Fortune, and actually these two figures coming together, I do wonder if there is this collaboration. And like I do kind of get like a soulmate energy, but again, I'm not really getting a romantic vibe this month. It's like there's some sort of collaboration or someone you are working with or working together with that is very important to your soul growth and your soul journey. And maybe that's part of what is helping you move by leaps and bounds. I do get the sense there could be someone helping you, at least for some of you. These are general readings, so not all of these messages are going to apply the same for each and every one of you. But I can't help but feel like there is this powerful partnership that's coming in, and honestly does not feel romantic to me at all. This feels strictly professional. It feels strictly business-like. Or there's kind of like, there's this sort of barrier between you and this other person. It's not really about your relationship. So that's kind of interesting. You might be collaborating this month. It might be a really good month to connect with people or network even. But I get the sense of like a partnership from that, or just some sort of mentor. Anything else? I was literally just thinking, can you tell me more about the visual I was getting? And I got Judgment. There is this major call from your soul. There are some big decisions that you might be making this month, or there's just this big wake-up call here. And like sometimes when I see the Judgment card, it can almost feel like a reckoning, but I don't get that sense. I really don't. I feel like you are stepping into a new level. Like, I know this is super wooey, but it's like you are stepping into a new dimension in some way. I really do get this like transcendent thing where it's like the role you are stepping into is larger than who you are. It's not your identity. It's almost like you are being asked to step into a role that is so much larger than you, or the work you are tapping into is so much larger than you. And it's important that you don't mistake your identity for your role. Because it's actually not just about you anymore. I feel like there's this very profound spiritual calling for this group. For those of you watching this video, I feel like you have a mission, and I feel like you are really stepping towards that mission, or you are being initiated very, very quickly into your soul's journey. And butterfly, yeah, there is a major transformation that is happening. And as part of this transformation, it's also important that you are being as gentle on yourself as possible during this time. And I feel like that is actually quite the ask for you this month, Gemini, because you are moving very quickly and you kind of have to. I really feel like you're supposed to be moving quickly this month, but taking care of yourself as much as you can in this period of transition, this sort of delicate change. And it's like, even though this is all very exciting, I'm very, very excited for you. It's like I have this image of the butterfly in your hands, and it's almost like cupping it, protecting this newfound emergence. I feel like a lot of you are going to have a lucky break, whatever that means. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? No. Those are all the messages I have for you this month, Gemini. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was exciting and gave you some things to look forward to. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what it is that you're moving towards, what this calling is. It all feels very profound and very, very exciting. You are welcome to check out my description box for all my links. You can book a personal reading or distant Reiki session on my website. I also have the accompanying astrology blog, so you can kind of see day by day what's going on. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini.